Hello and welcome to another Warcraft 3 audio commentary. Today we're going to be watching a game from TWEC. I don't know what the balls that means, but that's okay. What we're going to be doing is watching two players play a match. It's going to be fun and it's going to be educational. Maybe. It's probably not going to be educational. You never know. It should be a blast. Let's see who our players are. In the lower left part of the map, we have OwNu.Spiral. He's a very, very good human player. And he's spawning in as the blue human player. And up in the upper right part of the map, we have WarchiefRich, or Rich, however you want to say that. He's going to be the orange night elf. The map is going to be Last Refuge 1.3. And if we're not mistaken, he is going to be doing an Ancient of War creep over here. Now this is a nice little spot, as you can have access to both the mercenary camp and the green camp. You can start with the green camp if you want, move it over here and then creep out the orange camp, or you can start really with either one you want, though this is slightly far away to be creeping that orange camp out as a first creep. Down here for Spiral, you can see he's not really doing the standard build of human placements. Normally you put the two farms like dot and then barracks, but on this map you can see these trees right here kind of make that a bit of a pain, so he's going to do it this way instead. And of course his altar hugging the trees down here, going to give him enough space to come in and out of his base without any issues. Should be nice. Then we got footmen on their way out, well, as well as a scout wisp coming down here. This is going to be a militia, not a footman, but that's okay. He's going to come up here and say, what's going on? Is my opponent going to be going for the Ancient of War creep? Because I think he is, but what's he going to be creeping? All of these little things are very important. He's going to go ahead and get that archer out, pulls the green camp, uproots the Ancient of War. Very standard, very easy, very nice. Over here we can see that the hero he's going to be going for is going to be the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter is a great little hero. It's basically your go-to as elf. Down here we're going to see the footman getting juked a little bit by the wisp here. As you can see, he kind of went into the fog of the war and the footman stopped chasing him, which is something you got to be careful of if you're going to be Spiral in this case. Meanwhile, Spiral's coming down here with the Archmage because some of the water elements will let that tank and simply militia creep out this green camp. Not too much of an issue. We do have Spiral trying to build a scout farm up here. Unfortunately, WarchiefRich was like, you know what, I think he's going to be putting a scout farm right there. Sends his Demon Hunter over, and yes, indeed he is. And, you know, that's nice because this can finish off this creep. No problem. He's already got the item, and he gets all of this experience. So that's really, really nice. Denies some scouting information. This is probably going to stay here for a little while, but eventually it's probably going to either get canceled or taken down. It's very unlikely that that's going to get finished. A nice detonation on the Wisp, which is going to basically deny a little bit of experience on over to this Archmage. Otherwise, he would have picked up 25 because that's how much experience workers are worth. 25, all races. So good to know. It's always good to know. It means you got to kill 8 workers to level from 1 to 2. Because if you click here on this dude, see 200 XP as their max. Do that again, you can see, and so that's just 25 times 8. It's simple math, really. Over here we can see that the Wisp is getting chased by the footman. Oh, he's getting blocked by the pig. Oh, but he's maybe gonna live anyway. Oh, but here comes a Demon Hunter. Might block his own Wisp. Why would he do that? I don't know why he did that. That was probably not intentional. He clearly wants to do some damage to this footman. Needs to get this Wisp into one of those little trees that he can do to dodge the a
player's forces
the footman, but I don't know where he's going right now. He could just be going into these creeps, could just dispel into the creeps, wake him up, get the footman killed. Well worth the trade. Unfortunately, it's not going to ensnare. These little Morlock Huntsmen do have an ensnare, but they're just not going to do it. They don't do it like that. Meanwhile, down here we can see Spiral saying hello, creep, militia, gold mine, whatever the balls you call it. Saying I'm going to come down here and I am going to just go ahead, try to take up an expansion. He just crept that out. He is level 2. Demon Hunter's down here as well, and we're going to see the Scout Tower going up first because basically towers are very important. You need those to go up before you really get your expansion up. Otherwise, you're just going to have it canceled by the Demon Hunter or something like that. In this case, though, it's not going to be a super effective harass. As you can see, really good micro from Spiral, just basically darting in and out that Archmage between the footmen and making Demon Hunter take a lot of damage, as you can see, which is a decent way to repel this attack. But we also see some Huntresses out on the map. Huntresses, interesting, he is teching. He did get the Huntress Hall, but he's only got 1 Ancient of War. I don't think we're going to see too many more Huntresses. Probably going to sit up at 4 at the max. If we see down here, it's going to be 1. He's going to not do a whole lot with this, but he can hide and be a little bit annoying until they get dust or something. But meanwhile, he's actually just going to go ahead and run out without too much problem. There we can see 2 Huntresses on the map. I think there's a 3rd somewhere. It might just be building. So yeah, 3 Huntresses that I can tell. And over here we can see him still just taking some free hits in from the human player. Tried to get one hit on the footman, but definitely taking way too much damage to really be able to deal with that. Go ahead and see that creeping done very easy.
The town is under siege.
Sounds like a footman just beating on the altar of elders right there. As you can see, WarchiefRich, he is working on tier 2, about to get tier 2. Has been ensnared with this Huntress right here. Basically going to continue creeping. Really wants to get level 3 on that Archmage. And down here you can see that these guys are having a little fight. I could hear it. Got a footman who went down. 2 Huntresses and a archer chasing. They're running back and towards this guard tower saying, you know what? Even though my footman died to your demon hunter, I'm pretty confident I can take you as long as my guard tower is helping. And it looks that way. However, the question is, will he get that surround on the demon hunter? Not quite. The Archmage does have to run away, simply taking too much damage. The demon hunter does have boots of speed. Spiral going to turn back around. He's going to run back towards that guard tower. However, he is getting attacked maybe by the... Nope, not going to get attacked by the Huntress. He's going to throw down a sneaky ward, which is going to allow him to see true sight. Oh, he goes down on the Archmage, picking up level 2 for the Demon Hunter. A little bit of an interesting play there. Maybe he was hoping to get a surround on the Demon Hunter, but unfortunately that just did not work out well for him whatsoever. Going to pick up a Panda second for WarchiefRich. Backing off, maybe he'll go for an expansion at this point, or some safe creeping, or an Ancient of War creep with that Panda to go ahead and try to get him a little bit of the additional experience. Maybe he's even going to creep out this shop. Might as well do that. He did just probably see that this got revealed by the human player. So the human player might go up there and try to creep back him, but he definitely won't be expecting this, I don't think, because he did just scout revealed the top. Although he probably knows this is a possibility, certainly, right? Down here you can see that there's a blacksmith going down for Spiral, but he's lost his hero, so there's not a whole lot he can do right now. And you can see he's having to alter revive. That's taking quite some time to come back out, but once it does, then he's probably... Well, the question is if he goes, he could go for a level 3 or some harass. I don't know what he's going to do yet, but we'll find out together. Cheers.
A town is under siege.
Town hall. Now, Spiral is not teched yet whatsoever. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. Here we got a footman. Don't know what that guy was doing. He just kind of died to the creeps. I think he wanted to maybe buy something from the Goblin Laboratory, but didn't really happen there. He is bringing some militia up here, so he's going to probably be creeping something out. This would definitely look like what it is, and he's probably going to summon a Watcher until once he gets to 125. Or you might not. He might just wait till he's level 3 and then use that mana more aggressively. Maybe will he lose that footman? He tried his best to go ahead and right-click his own units right there with the footman to try to get the art creeps to not attack it, but it was just in a surrounded position, and there wasn't a lot he could do. And he did end up going down. They lose the militia, loses the 2 militia going down in the street camp. One thing to note, Spiral's main races work actually, not humans, so might not have the best militia micro, so to speak of. Nonetheless, that's okay. Gonna pick up a Healthstone, and level 3 does have that Zeppelin as well, so you can do some harass with that. You can kind of do some interesting stuff. Also picked up the Shredder. Will we get into that Zeppelin? Yes, we will, as this Demon Hunter decides, hey, I'm there, I want to do some damage, but not really gonna do a whole lot. Over here we can see there are 2 Ancient of Lores down, teching to tier 3 for Mr. WarchiefRich. As you can see, very close to tier 3, in fact. And let's see, an Ancient of Wind does go down. So he's, I'm not sure if he's going to try to get lots of hippogriffs or maybe just one to try to deal with that Zeppelin. Kind of would make sense. Not super a lot of need for him to get hippogriffs other than just maybe one to kill that Zeppelin right now, at least from what can be seen. Of course, he will get Master Bears, and he has a very decently good, well, very good late game elf army. The Dryad, Bear, Panda, Demon Hunter. Of course, he's about to get level 3 on this Panda as well. Oh, he's already got it. He just picked it up from the creep camp. And then he could creep out this if he wanted to. He could even expand. Down here we can see that WarchiefRich has Vision of Spiral Zeppelin. Now what would be really cool is if that was empty, right? If that was empty and, you know, this guy was just like, oh, I saw that, and Spiral was actually creeping something down here, although I don't know if he could creep that. Maybe. But that's not the kind of game we're going to be seeing. Spiral is indeed, though, going to fake running the Zeppelin back here. Gets all of WarchiefRich's units to come back here going, oh, where is that Zeppelin? But meanwhile, really, Spiral just kind of turned around. He's going to creep something out himself. He could creep quite a bit on this side of the map because this is a big delay for Rich. Although he does have level 3 on the Panda, very close to level 3 on the Demon Hunter as well. He is tier 3 now. Does pick up the Orb of Venom. And let's see, there is one Hippogriff right now coming out, and I think maybe he's just going to scout around these trees, see that there's not going to be a Zeppelin there. He might even just go ahead and leave a little bit early because he knows that Hippogriff is coming out pretty soon. And over here we can see Zeppelin coming around. He's going to scout this tree of life, going to go ahead and drop onto it and say, alright, let's take this bad boy down. This guy is not going to be allowed to live. Indeed, he's going to get canceled, and then the Zeppelin's going to get focus fired by that Orb of Venom. Of course, Spiral might try to go back into it. He could go back into it pretty quickly. He tries to avoid losing any units. He's going to take a breath of fire. Another Orb hit as well as a Hippogriff on him. Ooh, he is going to have to be really careful because if he dies over the cliffs, he will lose every unit. Oh, this is so close. Woo, he's going to lose nothing, thankfully. Very, very close to that. And he's going to have to try to go ahead and keep me out. Meanwhile, going to try to cancel this Tree of Life as well. Unfortunately, not going to really happen, and Rich is going to get a really good cleanup right there. And he's going to go ahead and creep out this expansion. Of course, Spiral this time knows for sure this is going down. He knows for sure that there is going to be an expansion, and we'll see Spiral try probably to do something about that. Maybe some more harass, but right now he's definitely currently being affected by dizziness, which is what happens when you fall out of a Zeppelin and hit the ground. You just get really, really slowed, and slowed is what happens. You don't want to, nothing too serious. Meanwhile, we can see the Hippogriff clearly going to have vision of that. Going to try to maybe see if he can micro it around. Going to take a couple hits on it. Nothing too big of a deal. And it's going to back off towards the back of the base. Meanwhile, Rich is still creeping. Of course, he's just waiting on his expansion to get up. He needs to try to stay in this quadrant of the map right up here. Basically, this area of the map, because this area is what he needs to be in to protect this Tree of Life, to get over here and to go up. And once it's rooted down and it's actually up, it's got some wisp out, it's going to be really difficult for Spiral to take that down. So that's really kind of what he needs. But if he knows where his opponent is and he's got great scouting intel from this Hippogriff right here, then he can actually play a little bit more aggressive, and he doesn't have to worry about that as much. Going to throw down a ward that is going to end up counter-warding the ward that Spiral just threw down. He's going to be able to take that ward right on out. A pretty nice victory for a little bit of map control victory for Rich. Spiral really needed that ward because he's been scouted by the Hippogriff this whole time. But we're going to see, it looks like a mortar team, mortar caster type of play. Oops, coming in from Spiral. And mortar caster, well, it's basically, it can work versus bears and dryads. It's not really a great army composition to have in a straight fight. And Spiral's picking up a Naga Sea Witch, which is definitely a bit of a strange pick. He's going to drop that Boots of Speed, give it over to the Naga Sea Witch. Now he's going to come over here and probably try to kill this Tree of Life. And if he's going to be able to do that, now is the time. But, you know, with this Night Elf army on his heels and this tiny army, he's already lost a couple units running over here. It's not really going to be enough. He would maybe be able to do so if he picked up some Goblin Laboratory units, such as a couple of Sappers. But really, in this situation, he just needs to run away. But here's a cool thing, like I said, with Mortar Caster, he could potentially do Invis Mortars, which might be able to do something. But again, it's Mortar Caster is the kind of army that you want to have your mortars positioned back behind your towers. You want the elf player attacking your front, and you want to be slowing down people. That's like your ideal situation. It's okay if you fight the elf here as well, and you have your mortars back here and the casters here. As long as you're near your base, that's generally the type of army this is. Or if you're in a choke point, that would work as well. But you really, really need that kind of a deal. You need something to protect those mortars. Otherwise, those dryads are just going to run back. The panda's just going to walk back, breath of fire them with a haze fire. You're going to lose your mortar teams that way. It's going to take a lot of healing scrolls, and it's not going to be super great. Now, Spiral's already went up and picked up 3 ivory towers on the Naga. 3 ivory towers on the Naga kind of makes me think he might be trying to tower rush Spiral, or not Spiral, but Rich right now. And I don't think that would work at all. But maybe it could. I mean, it could. This is an army composition. Again, you have to have your army split into some chunks, right? You need your casters, you need your heroes, your water elements. All that kind of needs to be in the mid front, and you need your mortar teams in the back, and you need a way to prevent them from basically just running back and killing the mortar teams. Because they're really your bread and butter. They're where your damage comes from. Also going to pick up some Spellbreakers. A great frontline unit, even better than having your casters front, is Spellbreakers. And, you know, honestly, better than having your water elemental front, because they'll just get abolished. So you really want the Spellbreakers to be in the most front, to form your big front shield. That's why they have those big shields, front line. And I think that's kind of where the Naga Sea Witch is coming in from. because he's thinking, you know, if a Demon Hunter tries, or a Panda tries to run back towards my mortar teams, between the slow and the cold arrow, I might be able to prevent that. Now here comes a creep jack from WarchiefRich. Now we're just going to see Spiral trying to use this choke point right here very effectively by running his mortar teams and such into the back, and then going ahead and saying, let's take this engagement. You can see how effective that double slow is on that Demon Hunter right there, as well as having these mortar teams in the back, so they're actually pretty well protected. Question is, will WarchiefRich try to come in there and actually fight this, or is he going to back off? It looks like right now he's backing off, but it's hard to tell if that's a fake back off just to get him to move out of position. But it looks like since he's already run this far away, he's definitely going to be just backing all the way off. Going to run over to the shop, sells an item, picks up a scroll of healing. I wasn't quite sure what that item was, but that's okay. And then we're going to see a Toma Shrink, probably going to go to the Naga. He's very low on HP, going to pick up 700 life. Actually has more life than the Archmage at this point, but because the Archmage is such a fast hero, especially so with Bloodlust, you know, he can get away with being a little bit less tanky. Now, it's kind of interesting to see the Naga see what's running up here. I'm not sure what he's doing. Oh, he's going to plant those towers down. Okay, so he's not exactly doing a tower rush. I think what he wants to do is secure this base. And if he can have 3 towers right here, if these don't get scouted, then basically if his opponent tries to come down here and fight right here, it's not going to work because there's going to be a bunch of towers, and he can hold this position. It'll be very easy to defend. This position has 1 choke, 2 chokes, 3 chokes / human base. This is a really easy position, I think, for Spiral to defend with his army. These towers going up, however, is going to be really key. Let's look at WarchiefRich's vision right here. Does he see these? Oh, he does, but their fight is going to go underway because here comes Spiral to try to defend this. Now, if he loses all these towers, it's not going to be a huge deal, and he's going to back off just a little bit. Those mortars are just kind of raining down lots of fire, as you can see, and indeed, WarchiefRich is going to be forced to back off. There's no way he can take that fight. It's got too much melee. It can't get into the fight. It's way too inefficient for him to try to fight that. And now 2 towers will go up. Now, 2 isn't as good as 3, but obviously, right? But 2 is enough. I mean, just 2 towers, an Arcane Tower and a Guard Tower. Any kind of bears on the front line are going to lose a lot of mana. They're going to take a lot of damage from the Arcane Tower, and the Guard Tower is going to do pretty good damage to the heroes as well. So it's going to be really difficult for WarchiefRich to assault this base down here, which is basically going to allow him to have a secured 3rd, and that's really what you want right now in this position as the human player, just to be able to out-economy your opponent, because your opponent's got a great army and you can't really fight it in the open. But again, like I said, with this kind of a choke point, with these towers that he has back there in the back, it works really well. And here comes a fight. This is the human being slightly out of position, but really he doesn't have a huge choice. Now, our 2 big mana players done down by these fairy dragons right now. Spiral should definitely be backing up a little bit. Doesn't really need to be fighting in the range of those fairy dragons, considering he's a defensive position right now. And with this defensive position, gonna be able to have a better economy. But he is capable of fighting this, even if he isn't, you know, doing it as efficiently as possible, just because he knows that he should hopefully not lose this fight regardless. That Demon Hunter taking a lot of damage, gonna be forced to TP right on out. Will he be able to get this bear pick off? No chance. It wasn't really getting focused. And now let's look and see at the food counts. We can see that Spiral is sitting at 88 food, and WarchiefRich is sitting at 80 food. So a very big difference in food right there. I mean, that's not what I was trying to say. I was trying to say not a very big difference in food right there. But here we can see a couple more towers going down by Spiral. And pretty much he's probably going to wait to throw down this 3rd until a little bit longer for the the first gold mine to actually run out. And in fact, Spiral, since he's sitting in high upkeep right now, he definitely needs to be very aggressive. Being very aggressive building these towers, being very aggressive with his army. If these towers can actually manage to go up, then he's going to be able to hold this position and install these bears and then start mortaring into the base, which is like the worst thing for the elf player. Now we can see this fight is going to go underway right now. Level 5 going to be picked up by the Demon Hunter. Of course, Spiral is going to back off just a little bit. He can't do that. He's okay. He doesn't have to have the towers completely protected by his army, because, you know, the bears aren't really going to go for those towers in mass while he's being attacked by the army, unless he can kind of win the fight versus the army. And actually, he's not doing such a bad job of it. And in fact, we're going to see one of those towers will go down. The Naga is taking a lot of damage. Really, his whole strategy of focusing down the Demon Hunter is not working super well right now, because, well, the Demon Hunter is not in a bad position. He's not really in the fight. And the Naga's also not in the fight either, but we're going to see 1 bear going down. We've got 3 very low HP bears. If a little bit of micro happens here, we're going to see all of those go down. Yeah, indeed, all of those do go down. And we're seeing these peasants kind of forming a front line. It's not that they're doing a lot of damage, but slowed bears have a very hard time getting around them. The turn rate in Warcraft 3 is very low on units like that, especially when they're slowed. So it's very difficult to actually navigate across even little units like that. So it's very nice. Now we can see the Demon Hunter has managed to get a rejuvenation. He's sealed back up Question is, where did the Naga go? Here it is, indeed, right back in the fight, right at the front lines one more time, and he's getting lots of mana back simply because he's got that Brilliance Aura. It should be level 2, yeah, right there, healing him his mana right on up pretty quickly, as you can see. Spiral's Demon Hunter did pick up a potion of invulnerability, so once again, oh, did he pass it? Oh, oh no, Spiral did. Okay, he's probably on the Archmage then, yeah. I misread that. I keep thinking Spiral's Nile player. Anyway, so here comes the Spite. Once again, this guard tower has gone up. We have another guard tower up right there. 2 more towers being built. 1 guard tower there and a scout. Of course, you can see this Warren team, a bad position, should die, but it looks like it's going to live by a miracle. The Bears decided, let's turn around and run out of here. And this is looking really, really good for Spiral at this point. As you can see, these Bears are starting to die in droves. But look at that Micro getting all these low HP Bears back. A great staff right there. And if you can just get all of these Bears back up to full life with a bit of Micro and rejuvenation, hopefully without getting all of them stolen by the Spellbreakers, we might even be able to have one more push come out here. And as you can see, honestly, Spiral's army has started to whittle down just a little bit. He does only have 4 mortars. One of them is very low. A lot of these things are someone's going to bring in a bunch of Wisp right now. The Wisp will detonate on the heroes as well as the casters and the Water Elementals. It's going to do a fair amount of damage just like that. As you can see, that Panda being able to get a nice Breath of Fire in here. Going to be able to use the Demon Hunter combination with the Fire Breath to take that mortar team down. And once again, you can see this Naga Sea Witch kind of being chased off by the Demon Hunter by herself, but this time she is armed with a Hellstone as well as going to be able to pick up another Scroll of Healing from the shop. And here we go. Gonna come right back in for this time with these towers right here. He's gonna have no problem assaulting the base. Demon Hunter saying, I want to kind of come in here. I want you to not be assaulting my base, you know. And he's unfortunately not gonna be able to do a whole lot about it. And let's see down here. We do have this. It's being mined out. Oh, Spiral is very low on gold, but he does have 400 here. I think he should definitely be building a expansion right there because he's easily gonna be able to protect that. There's no way that'll go down. But he's still fighting, so you know, there we go. And these towers should be going up no problem. Of course, the elf player does still have income from his natural bite as well, but that's a lot of bears, so we're gonna see. But again, this is a very difficult position to assault, and it looks pretty good for Spiral right now. Did the Panda get 6? Oh, that's nice, but unfortunately as you can see him in the ult, but that Demon Hunter about to go down. GG on the Demon Hunter, and that's not looking good for WarchiefRich at all. Although the Naga's also going to go down, and another Cyclone on the Archmage, but he does still have a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability as well as a Scroll of Town Portal, and so much is being lost. Going ahead and trying to get that surround, and it doesn't even matter. Even if you do, he's still just going to go ahead and TP right on out. Worst case scenario for him, but this round doesn't even hold. So there you go. GG's called from WarchiefRich, and that's game 1. And that is just a random game that we're taking out. It's supposed to be. It was a good game. I enjoyed watching it. I hope you guys did too. And that game, like I said, it's just one of the. We're just been doing a lot of just random single games that are pretty good replays. So I think this was probably for part of a best of 3, but we're not going to cast the other 2 games. There is another game that I'm going to cast coming up with Bidu, as you probably know him, and yeah, of course you know. So I'm going to cast another game on, because right now I'm live on Twitch at twitch.tv/PureV, but these will be on YouTube tomorrow-ish probably, or tonight, we'll see. And I'm going to go for a quick little break, get everything set up for the next thing, and get some more water, because I'm all out. And I'll be back in just a little bit. Stay tuned if you're live, and if you're on YouTube, you can probably just click right here, and it should take you to the next replay. Thanks for watching. I'll be right back.